Well, the first week of the NFL season has finally ended. And I am going to go over every game, see how my predictions line up, and what's going to happen. So, game 1, Lions versus the Chiefs on Thursday. Lions pull out the upset victory, as I was expected, with no Chris Jones and no Travis Kelce. I'm surprised the Lions actually did win this, though, because their offense really wasn't playing as well. Just looking at these leader stats, Goff outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And now he goes 2-0 against him. Patrick Mahomes has not beaten Jared Goff. It was just like Joe Burrow used to be. For rushing yards, DJ Montgomery played pretty well. Patrick Mahomes was the main person. And for receiving, Reynolds 4 for 80, Scantling 2 for 48. Yeah, the Chiefs receivers sucked, and the Chiefs receivers basically sold the game for the Chiefs. If they had at least decent receiver or Travis Kelce, they win the game. If they have Chris Jones, they'll probably win the game too. Glad they actually signed him now. For some reason, it's only a 1-year deal, and Travis Kelce should be able to play this week. I'm not too sure, though. Now, our next game, Bengals and Browns. I knew the Browns were going to win this game, which might seem as a shock, but I just know that the Bengals can never play the Browns well, especially in their stadium, but 3-24 is crazy from the Browns. I don't know how they did it. I do not know how they did it. I don't even know how they got 11 points. If you watch this game, how did they get 11 points here? Well, anyway, Joe Burrow had an off game. 4 for 31 for 82, which is really not like him, but he hadn't had any preseason practice at all, so I can understand it. Deshaun Watson also played pretty bad, too, for 154 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And by the way, the interception was horrible. It threw it right to the defender. But Joe Mixon, 56 yards. Chubb destroyed with 106. Chase only had 39 yards, and Moore had 43 yards. But I was expecting this to happen. I knew the Browns were going to win. I didn't know they were going to win this big. Of course, now everyone's hyping up the Browns. They're not going to be a good team this season. I just predicted that they were going to win this game because the Bengals never play good. And the Bengals didn't get to practice Joe Burrow. But a beating this bad was definitely a surprise to me. Next is the Texans and the Ravens. And the Texans get mollywopped. They get destroyed 9-7. 9-7. 9-25. I was looking at this 7 on the first quarter. The Texans got a touchdown and a field goal with C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud needs to step it up, especially for this next game, because he plays Anthony Richardson, who played better than him. Just saying. Yeah, the Ravens dismantled the Texans. They didn't even need Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson. Even with that pick, he played all right. Not best game from Lamar Jackson. C.J. Stroud, no mistakes on the day, but no touchdown. 242 yards. Lamar Jackson also ran for 38, while Pierce ran for 38 as well. Collins had the most receiving for the Texans, Brady, and Flowers, the rookie, had the most receiving for the Ravens. Now, sadly, this game, I believe this game at least, J.K. Dobbins, Ravens running back, he went down, unfortunately, just like Aaron Rodgers did with the torn Achilles. He's out for the season. I feel really bad for him, and I hope he can get better for next season. Other than that, that's really all I got to say about this game. The Ravens destroyed the Texans, and that's about it. Next, we got a surprise upset here for the Buccaneers. Buccaneers win 20-17 against the Vikings. I don't know how this happened. Well, I do know how this happened, but I don't know how this happened. Like, Kirk Cousins, he played well, as the stats say, but those 2 fumbles and the interception definitely cost the Vikings the game. I don't like beating up on Kirk Cousins because I know he's a good quarterback. It's like, you gotta straighten out those fumbles, man. Baker Mayfield, 173, not the best yard game, but he had 2 touchdowns. For rushing, Madison only had 34, and White had 39. Evans, who likely will not be on the team, like mid-season or the off-season, has 66 yards and a touchdown, while Justin Jefferson absolutely snapped for 150. And he had this amazing defensive hit when he threw the pick. Kirk Cousins threw the pick. What do I have to say about this game? So, definitely a surprise. I didn't know Baker could bake like that. Apparently, he's just a good quarterback now. I mean, it's just one game. Don't let it dictate the whole season. But apparently, he just played well. Vikings didn't get scores like 344 yards should. And like, just to defend Kirk Cousins a little bit. Even though he had 2 fumbles and an interception, he still went 33 for 44. It's not like he played a bad game. It's just if he can iron out those turnovers, they probably win 34-20. It's just really big turnovers, like Matt Ryan said. But that's really all I have to say about this one. And we move on. Next, the Panthers and Bryce Young. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for 146 yards. Bryce Young played the worst out of all the QBs. All the rookie QBs. He played the worst. And that's a surprise to almost everyone. Because people thought Anthony Richardson was the most project QB and Bryce Young was the most QB ready. But Bryce Young did not play good this game. He did not play good this game. And that led to the Panthers' loss to the Falcons, 24-10. Bijan Robinson, he's going to be him soon. Tyler Algier still had the most carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miles Sanders, 72 yards. Hurst had the most receiving, 41 yards, 1 touchdown. Throws the first touchdown for Bryce Young into the stands, which is wild. I do believe they got the ball back. Kyle Pitts, 2 for 44. Pleasant surprise to see. I'm not sure if I had the Panthers losing to the Falcons. I think it depends on which stadium this was at. And I'm not sure which stadium it actually is. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I probably had the Falcons winning this. So, not the biggest surprise, but I am surprised that they win by 2 scores, considering the Panthers look like the better team, or people think the Panthers are a better team when really the Falcons are. But that's all I have to say for this one, and we move on to our next game. Next, the Commanders and the Cardinals. Commanders, you almost choked my prediction. They almost choked my prediction. The Cardinals actually almost won this game. They were up 13-10 on the half, and then go up 16-10, and then luckily Washington busted out 10 in the 4th quarter. Yeah, I'm lucky that the Commanders won, because if you remember from my video, I predicted the Cardinals to be the first team to go 0-17. Now, I also predicted the Raiders, the Rams, and the Bucks to do horrible this year, and they all won their first game, so there's that. But I'm glad that prediction doesn't go out the window that fast. The Commanders, Howell played an alright game. 1 touchdown, 1 interception for 202 yards. He definitely played better than some QBs, but he played worse than others. Joshua Dobbs, his passes look good, but his yards are not good. He was not producing any yards for the team, and that's unfortunate. Connor had 62 rushing yards. Robinson. Bijan Robinson. Yeah, I know that's a different Robinson, but still. 59 yards. Moore had the most catches for the Cardinals, 33 yards. And Samuel had the most yards, 54. Yeah, I'm glad for the Commanders winning. I think they'll do all right this season. I'm not sure who they play next. But overall, solid game from the Commanders. Solid game from the Cardinals. I'm very surprised. I don't know who their defensive coach is, but props on you for getting their defense really good. Their defense played all right. The Cardinals' defense played all right. And if they can get some pieces in the offseason, they could be a sneaky team. Especially if they get Caleb Williams from the draft. But that's my 2 cents for the Cardinals. And we move on. Next, I've talked about this one extensively. Colts fan, of course. I'm only going to go over it really quick. Jaguars win 31-21. Anthony Richardson played the best out of the rookie QBs. 24-40, 37, 223 yards, 1 touchdown. Yes, he did have 1 pick. But he had a rushing touchdown, too, for 40 yards. He could have had 2 if he didn't get banged up at the end there. I'm glad he's not really injured, though. Trevor Lawrence plays a near-perfect game, other than that interception. ETN cooked our defense. Calvin Ridley cooked our defense. Pittman had 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Overall, if you want more details, go watch my video on the Colts losing to the Jaguars. But I'm proud of the Colts, and the Jaguars are going to be a really good team this season. Next, Steelers get mollywopped, destroyed on kickoff day against Brock Purdy, against CMC. They lose 30-7, not the biggest loss this week. Giants. But Brock Purdy played a nice game, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a good statement. It's a good statement for after getting injured. Kenny Pickett played, again, like Kirk Cousins. He was good on passes, he was good on yards, but his turnovers were just not good. 1 touchdown for 2 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey destroyed any sort of Steelers defense they had, running for 1 touchdown and 152 yards, while Najee Harris only runs 31. Ayuk balled out for 129 and 2 touchdowns, while Robinson... Why are there so many Robinsons? Robinson catches 64 yards. Steelers got to iron something out. They should not be dropping both 30 and losing by 23. Yes, it's against the best team, in my personal opinion, in the NFC. But you can't do this. And especially for my predictions, who, since the Jets aren't going to be down, who could definitely make the playoffs. Could definitely make the playoffs along with the Chargers. I hate to say this, but maybe the Browns. And even the Colts if they somehow tee up. Since the Jets, well, we'll get to that later. The Steelers got to start cooking next game. That's what I got to say. And 49ers, keep it up. Keep it up. Especially you, Brock Purdy. We have the Titans and the Saints. Titans take that L, actually going against my predictions. This is one I remember. Losing 15-16. I expected the Saints to blow this since they didn't have Alvin Kamara. But Ryan Tannehill, my man, throwing 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions for 198 yards. That's crazy. That's just crazy. He's not technically the worst QB on turnovers this week, but he's going to be benched by week 7. Will Levis will be playing by week 7 if he keeps playing like this. Derek Carr, he had a very solid start to his Saints career. And of course, I'm not a Derek Carr fan. I'm not a Derek Carr believer. But 23 for 33 for 305, a touchdown and interception is very respectable. And I respect him for that. Jamal Williams from the Lions, runs for 45 yards. Derrick Henry, only 63, which is a surprise, since it is Derrick Henry, who top 5 at least. Hopkins only had 65 yards. Olave went for 112. Saints, if the Saints can keep this kind of play up, they're going to win the division. They will win the division. And the Titans, if they keep this going down, I mean, I predicted it. I didn't have much. Well, I didn't predict this game specifically, but I didn't predict them with 9-10 wins just because they got DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, if your quarterback is throwing 3 interceptions, forget about DeAndre Hopkins. Just forget about him. He can't. If your QB can't throw, a wide receiver's not going to save the team. And that just proved it today with the Saints win over the Titans with no Alvin Kamara. Next, another upset victory. The Raiders take it 1-0, leading the AFC West. Makes no sense whatsoever. Beating the Broncos with a score of 17-16. I had the Raiders going 1-16. I had who's the receiving guy again? Oh shoot, I forgot. Jakobi Meyers snapped this game. Sorry for my unprofessionalism. Davante Adams, yeah. I expected Davante Adams to get traded mid-season to the Jets. See, every time I bring up the Jets, man. I expected him to go to the Jets mid-season for Aaron Rodgers, of course, and I expected Josh Jacobs to be all right, but not to carry the team, and I expected Jimmy Garoppolo to not play as well. But surprise win over the Broncos in their own stadium, I believe. The Broncos Stadium. Yep, in the Broncos Stadium. Jimmy Garoppolo, a respectable start. Not the best start, of course. 20 for 26 for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Russell Wilson played well. But it just wasn't enough. 27-34 for 177 and 2 touchdowns. For rushing, Williams rushed for 52 and Jacobs rushed for 48. For receiving, Jakobi Meyers absolutely snapped for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns, while this Perrine guy only got 37. Jerry Jeudy did not play this game. That's, in my opinion, the reason the Broncos lost, since Russ was playing well. But there goes the Raiders for ruining my predictions. They're likely not going to lose just one game. You'll win just one game now. They'll probably win at least 2, which is something, at least. Anyway, moving on. Got the Eagles and the Patriots. Eagles, I'm on you. You may have won the game, but you almost choked. You're lucky your defense clutched up because you almost choked. And, if you didn't see the end of that game, Mac Jones had, 2-3 chances to score and take the lead. I can't believe it. It's the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. Of course, the holding call didn't happen. The possible Super Bowl champions of this year, too? What are you doing, Eagles? Jalen Hurts, 22 for 33 for 170 and 1 touchdown. Mac Jones throwing 54 passes for 316 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. He played great whole game. But just at the end there, he choked. He couldn't get anything done trying to clutch up for the season. And that's unfortunate for him, although I don't really like the Patriots. Gainwell rushed for 54 yards. Elliott rushed for 29. And I just got Ezekiel Elliott, too, and he's only rushed for 29 yards. Brown went for 79 yards, and Stevenson went for 64. Overall, a surprise for the Patriots in their defense and their offense. If they're playing like this against a stacked team and they keep it up, They could be a sneaky team this year, which pains me to say because I'm not a Mac Jones believer. I think Bailey Zappi is better than Mac Jones, in my opinion. But the Patriots keep it up, then yeah. And then the Eagles, Super Bowl champions. I don't know what I was thinking. Super Bowl champion hopefuls. You got to step it up against these weaker teams. A lot of people had this game as a lock, and you almost blew it. So, Eagles, you got to tee up. For our next game, I don't know what happened. Like, I predicted the Rams to go 3-14, 4-13, and yet they beat the Seahawks. In Washington. I don't know how the Seahawks lose this. Apparently, Matt Stafford's him, throwing for 334 yards. Dino, 112 yards and a touchdown. What are you doing? Williams rushing, 52 for 2 touchdowns. Where's Cam Akers? This random Atwell had 119 yards, and Metcalf has 47. I mean, if you didn't even see the clip, Metcalf just straight pushed the guy off because he was mad. It made no sense why he did that in the first place. And the other guy who rushed was Walker for 64. But the Seahawks, you gotta step it up. A lot of people, of course not everyone, because a lot of people aren't stupid. A lot of people had you winning the West. And if you're going to start like this against a rebuilding Rams team, a team where Matthew Stafford should be washed, no Cooper Kupp. If you're going to play like this, just sacrifice the season. Go for Caleb Williams, honestly. Go for, like, Drake May or something. Go for Shadou Sanders. If he comes to the league. Like, you got to step it up, Seahawks. And, of course, credit where credit's due. Rams, Matthew Stafford. I didn't expect anything from you guys. And pulling out this big of an upset on week 1 is definitely motivating for you. I still don't have you finishing well. Maybe you go like 6-11, 7-10 now. You may actually beat the Colts as well. Pain me to say that, but you might actually beat the Colts as well. You could go pretty well if you keep playing like this, Rams. So keep it up. Next game. Tua haters. Where are you at? 28-45. 466 yards. I believe that is the third highest kickoff yards in NFL history. I believe it's like Tom Brady and like, I don't remember the other one, Dan Marino maybe. 466 yards with 3 touchdowns. Don't get me started. Tyreek Hill, 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. If he plays like this, he's getting 3,000 yards in the season. He wants 2,000, he'll get 3,000. Tua Tagovailoa went from 2,000 plus 2,000 on money line to be MVP. He's 700 now. And I was telling you guys this the whole offseason. Do not sleep on the Dolphins. If Tua doesn't get hurt, he could be MVP. And I heard someone say today, like Tyreek Hill, if he breaks that receiving record, it could go to them. It could definitely go to him too. I mean, if Tyreek Hill breaks the receiving record, who he's ahead of Justin Jefferson for, the best receiver in the league. I mean, he could easily be MVP too. He could easily take first in wide receiver terms. But the Dolphins clutch it up. Sorry for not speaking about the Chargers. Justin Herbert, 228, 1 touchdown. I was supporting the Chargers this offseason. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Justin Herbert fan. I don't think he's the greatest QB. I don't think he's top 5 or anything. But Justin Herbert's a solid QB. And the Chargers have a solid roster. But that fourth quarter choke you guys went through, was horrendous. Like, that last drive you had was horrendous. What was it, like 2 sacks, a throwaway, a small catch, intentional grounding? Like, you gotta step it up if you want to win these type of games. They missed the extra point too. The Dolphins missed the extra point at the end. You could have won on a field goal and you got nowhere. Sad for Chargers fans. Austin Eckler, he's questionable. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he runs for 170 yards and 1 touchdown. Sorry. And Allen, 76 yards. Chargers, you got to step it up in these big games. Tua proved everyone wrong, like I expected. Dolphins are going to have an amazing season this year. Once Jalen Ramsey comes back, they're going to be an unstoppable force. They're going to be unstoppable. Same old Bears. What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys? The Bears hype was too high. Packers come into your stadium. Support's at an all-time high for the Bears. Maybe not at the stadium, but the Packers come into their own stadium, no Aaron Rodgers, and they still destroy you 38-20. The game was over in the third quarter. Justin Fields, what are you doing? Yes, he had 260 yards, 1 touchdown and an interception, and he ran for 59 yards. But Justin Fields, what are you doing? You let Jordan Love, of all people, who I'm not high on, go for 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. Justin Fields, you got to step it up. Bears defense, you got to step it up. You got all these accusations in the offseason, and your defense sucks. Your defense sucks. Jones, 41 yards, a touchdown. He may be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was the running back that got injured. Sorry for checking in. Yeah, he's the running back who got injured. He got injured, which is unfortunate for the Packers because the running game's strong. And he also was the main guy for receiving, which is huge. 86 yards, 1 touchdown, only 2 catches. But I still don't got the Packers high. It's the Bears of all people. Like, it's the Bears. Don't get your hopes up if you're a Packers fan. Bears, your season's over. Your season's over. You're not bouncing back from this. The Packers came into your own stadium when you were expected to win and you lose. There's just no way you don't go for like 5-12. You could go worse. I think I had you winning this game. Bears, like, come on, man. You gotta do better. You gotta do better as a whole. And I'm not just dogging on Justin Fields because I don't think he can throw. It's a whole Bears roster. They just need, like, I don't think people should have overreacted. It's the whole Bear. It's not just Justin Fields, who I don't think is the best quarterback. It's honestly the entire roster. The entire roster. Like, Bears, you gotta step it up. I'm not gonna talk about this one much. Both QBs were bad. Daniel Jones, 2 interceptions. I think he fumbled once. Pollard, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Barkley, only 51 yards. Lamb, 77 yards. Waller, 36. I don't have to say much about this. Giants got blown out 40-0 to the Cowboys. Trust me, when you guys miss the playoffs, I will be smoking that Giants pack. Even if the Vikings don't make it to the playoffs, who, by the way, I failed to mention this earlier. I have the Lions winning the division now, 100%. With the Vikings loss and the Lions win, I just have the line out for the season being that the Lions are going to win the division. So, if you're a Lions fan, good job. You're going to win the division this year. I still can't believe the Vikings, but Giants, if you lose to the Cardinals next week, your season's over. Your season's over. And now for our final game. The one that was just played yesterday. It's between this one and the Chargers one for Game of the Week. Let me get this out first. Aaron Rodgers suffers a torn Achilles. He's out for the season. he could be out for this career. And now I'm going to play this clip. Of course, this is at the start of the game where he's using that flag. Yes, I got this from Twitter. Yes, the Twitter thing's on there. Yes, it's on Safari. Who cares? But this moment that you're watching right now, this was a sign of hope for Jets fans. They finally can say they have a good QB. They haven't had a good QB since, what? Sanchez? I consider Sanchez a good QB. He took him to the AFC Championship twice. I feel so bad for Jets fans. No matter what you think about Aaron Rodgers' personality or Aaron Rodgers' beliefs, Aaron Rodgers, the football player, really wanted to be on that field. He looked very excited to play for the Jets, try to get the Super Bowl win. And now that he's injured, his Achilles is down, that could be his career. And I'm sorry to every Jets fan. But on to the game. Zach Wilson, 140-yard, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Zach Wilson, other than an interception, actually didn't play that bad. That's surprising because it's Zach Wilson, but Aaron Rodgers has been mentoring him the whole offseason. Josh Allen, you suck. Josh Allen sucks. If any of you want to say that Joe Burrow is worse than Josh Allen, you're wrong. And yes, I know. Joe Burrow only got 86 yards this week. Joe Burrow didn't play good this week. He didn't have had any practice the whole offseason. Josh Allen did. Josh Allen throws 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions to the same guy. Let me go find him right quick. Let me go find my boy right quick. James Whitehead. I don't know if that's his first name. 3 interceptions. All 3 of them. All 3 of his interceptions were to the same person. He had more throws to the Jets than Aaron Rodgers. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers. He had more throws than him. And that's just sad. And don't get me started. Let me just go to the Steam stats quite quick. What is that? Fumbles lost? 1. I wonder who lost that fumble. Oh, it was Josh Allen. It was Josh Allen in primetime. Tied up 13-13. Lost the fumble leading to the Jets kicking a field goal. And let me remind you, it's Zach Wilson they're playing against. How do you lose? I mean, I've even seen some people think that Josh Allen got concussed, like one of those plays, like one of the ones where he tried to jump over 3 Jets defenders. I saw one where he just fell forward and slammed his head on the turf, which, by the way, moved turf. I mean, I don't think he's concussed. I think that's just Josh Allen. I honestly think that's just Josh Allen. Cook went 46. Breece Hall balled out. 2 big runs. A 1 run for 80 yards. He played amazing. Diggs, 102 yards and a touchdown. Lazard, only 46 yards. Now, since this is the most recent, I do have 2 very special plays I want to highlight from the Jets position. Where is he at? Garrett Wilson, catch of the week, possibly catch of the year. Is it better than Justin Jefferson's catch? Hey, that's up in the air. If you didn't watch, go look at it. If you don't want to go look at it, I'll explain it here. So basically, Zach Wilson throws it to Garrett Wilson. It wasn't the best throw because the cornerback, the safety, whoever was locking him up, had him locked up. What Garrett Wilson does is he hits the ball away from the Bills receiver lightly with his right hand, goes over with his right hand, catches the ball, and carries it in. Joe Buck was excited. Everyone was excited when they saw that. I mean, that might be one of the best touchdown catches in NFL history. I mean, it was just a wild catch. And of course, second I believe he's going to be punt returns. Yep. Xavier Gibson, man. Undrafted free agent on the Jets. It goes for the third punt return in NFL overtime history. I mean, even with all the Aaron Rodgers stuff, there's still something to be proud with the Jets. You played an amazing game, even with Zach Wilson. Gibson clutched up in the end with that punt return. In overtime, by the way. An overtime where Josh Allen went 3-0 after leading a masterclass drive onto a field goal to send them to overtime. Yeah, I'm really dogging on Josh Allen right now. Yeah, I'm sorry for every Jets fan who was excited for Rodgers, but I'm really glad you won. And just, even though it is week 1, I just want to look over the standings right quick. Jets and Dolphins is leading the AFC East with 1 win. Patriots and Bills both have 0. Bills, 4th in the division. Wild. Jets, Dolphins, who I predicted. Sadly, the Jets aren't going to be up there anymore. But Jets, Dolphins, as predicted, they were going to get the W. Raiders, like I said, this is so cursed. This is cursed. The Raiders are leading the AFC West with a win. Yes, it's week 1. Yes, I shouldn't be highlighting this necessarily. But just to take you through this. Bengals. By the way, big 3. Bills, Chiefs, Bengals. All drop 1. So if I hear any of you guys dogging on the Bengals, dogging on the Bills, even dogging on the Chiefs, considering that was the wide receiver's fault, just remember, all 3 of these guys lost. So you can't really put it on any of them. Browns and Ravens are leading the division right now. Steelers got to step it up. I don't know how the Colts are in 4th. Well, I know how the Colts are in 4th, of course. Just something with these PF and PA. But Jaguars only win this week. For the National Football Conference. 3 wins. Everyone won except the Giants. Cowboys, of course, with that 40-point is leading right now. Rams and 49ers leading with win. Cardinals predicted. Seahawks not predicted, of course. North, Packers and Lions leading. Vikings with a L are down right now. In the South, everyone won except the Panthers. Of course, now video's over. There's no now. The video's over. I did predict the Jets. I predicted the Dolphins. I predicted the Patriots and the Bills. Did not predict the Raiders. Did not predict the Chiefs. Predicted the Chargers. Did not predict the Broncos. Did predict the Browns and did predict the Bengals. Did predict the Ravens. Did predict the Steelers. Did predict the Jaguars and the Colts. Did not predict the Titans. Did predict the Texans. And for the NFC, did predict the Cowboys. Did predict the Commanders. Did predict the Eagles. Did predict the Giants. Did not predict the Rams. Predict the 49ers. Predicted the Cardinals. Did not predict the Seahawks. Predicted... I don't think I predicted the Pack. Go look. I think I had the Bears winning. I'm not too sure. I don't think I predicted those right. But yeah, then I'll have to go check. Did not predict the Lions and did not predict the Vikings. I was horrible on NFC North this week. Predicted the Falcons, I believe. Did not predict them. Again, another one you gotta check. I did not predict the Bucks and did not predict North and South. I sucked at this week, apparently. If I did get them Packers and Bears and Falcons and Panthers wrong, I'm accountable, of course. But anyway, that's it for today. I will make a week 2 prediction video. I didn't make a week 1 prediction video because that would just been my predictions. And if you really wanted to see them, just go look at that video. Yes, it's an hour long. I don't mind. Colts. I don't know why I clicked the Colts. Go buy Colts. No. You know what's something I gotta predict? Go out on. Not Rookie of the Year, of course. NFL Rookie of the Week, baby. Rotate your phone, probably. Because it probably looks weird. Predict my boy Anthony Richardson for Rookie of the Week. Come on. Predict Anthony Richardson. You know you want to. You know you want to go predict. The video's over. I'll see you next time. Peace out.